All right, let's talk about something that so many of us are feeling, even if we don't have a name for it. It's called financial nihilism. And it's this huge, quiet force that's completely changing how a whole generation is thinking about their money. I mean, have you ever seen a meme like this and just laughed a little too hard? Or heard a friend say something similar? If you've ever nodded along, you get it. You've felt the heart of this thing. It's a dark joke, for sure, but it points to a very, very real feeling of hopelessness that's out there. So, let's put a real name to it. What exactly is financial nihilism? It sounds like some complicated term from a philosophy class, right? But it's actually a feeling that's just become part of everyday life for so many. At its core, it's this belief that the old financial playbook, the one our parents used, it's just broken. Things like buying a house, having a comfortable retirement, they feel so completely out of reach that it feels like the only logical thing to do is to just not even play the game. And this is the gut feeling, isn't it? It's this deep sense that the whole system is rigged. It's like the rules were written for a totally different economy, by a totally different generation. And trying to win by those old rules today, well, it just feels hopeless. And look, let's be real, this feeling doesn't just come out of nowhere. You're looking at these giant systemic hurdles, mountains of student debt, housing prices that honestly look like a typo, paychecks that just don't go as far as they used to. When you're facing all of that you only live once idea starts to feel less like a fun mantra and more like the only sane response. Okay, but this is where we have to pause and draw a line, because there's the feeling and then there's the reality. And what feels like this powerful, rebellious choice is actually a really dangerous trap. Not playing the game, it feels like rebellion, right? Like you're sticking it to the man, taking back control from this broken system. But, and this is the hard truth, it's the exact opposite. It's not rebellion, it's surrender. It's not empowerment, it's a trap. You're not taking control back, you're actually just giving your power away. And this is the most critical part. When you surrender, you stop making conscious choices about your life and your future. Instead, you just react. And guess who loves that? Marketers, algorithms, you name it. When you're not actively making a plan, you're just passively scrolling, reacting to ads, reacting to trends, reacting to whatever impulse pops into your head. You're not in the driver's seat anymore. You're just along for the ride. So, what does that actually look like in the long run? What's the real tangible price of giving up that control? Let's break it down. The thing is, time doesn't stop. The clock just keeps ticking, whether you're paying attention or not. So maybe you drift for a year, doesn't seem like a big deal. But then, boom, 5 years have passed, then 10. And all those little choices, or the choices you didn't make, they start to pile up into these massive, life-changing consequences. Think of compound interest like gravity. It doesn't care if you believe in it or not, it just is. It's a law of nature, and it's always working. If you're saving and investing, even tiny amounts, it's working for you, quietly building in the background. But if you've got debt, it's working against you, digging that hole a little deeper every single day. Okay, so if giving up is a trap, what's the escape route? Well, the antidote isn't some crazy get-rich-quick fantasy. It's actually something much more real and much more powerful. It's about how to fight back in a way that actually works. We have to completely reframe what winning looks like. Forget about becoming a millionaire by next Tuesday. The real win, the real victory, is just reclaiming your power to choose. It's about taking back your own agency, starting with the smallest possible steps. So how do you do it? You start impossibly small. Seriously, forget about the giant goal of retirement. The goal is to save $100 this month. Automate $20 a week into a savings account. That is a quiet, powerful act of rebellion. Pay off one tiny little debt and let yourself feel that win. Every small victory is you exercising your power, taking back a piece of control. This is what true rebellion looks like today. It isn't throwing your hands up and saying it's all pointless. It's being the person who is slowly, deliberately building something in a system that makes it hard to build. It's the simple act of having a plan when the culture around you is just to drift along. This is the perfect way to think about it. That feeling of hopelessness makes you want to just close your eyes and pretend the flood isn't even on its way. Real agency, real rebellion, is looking at the rising water and choosing to build a life raft anyway, one piece of wood at a time. Every single good choice you make is another piece of that raft. So this all comes down to one thing, really. It's about turning this idea into action. It's about refusing to let that feeling of hopelessness write your future for you. And here is the most important thing to take away from all of this. Nothing is set in stone. The story of your financial life isn't finished, not even close. You are the one holding the pen, and you have all the power you need to write the next chapter, starting right now. The past doesn't get to decide your future. You can start today, right now, with one small choice, one tiny action. That's your first word in a brand new story. So the only question left is, what's it going to be?